Did you give it to me open?
Yeah.
Yay! Thank you! I forgot I have to have a beer for these.
Beer and a chat.
Beer and a chat!
Beer and a chat.
Beer and a chat! So recently a ton of super dope people have been making videos about identity, and this guy, was tagged. Boom sauce! Some of these rad people include Connor Manning, Hannah Winton, Sexplanations, Briarly. I'm in a really weird mood today, guys. Wasn't that fun editing just now? I'm going to do this too because I love anything that encourages more people to reflect on their own identity and identity as a concept. Plus, you get to learn a little bit about me. Something that I really want to touch on in this video is the complexity of identity. And that just might end up being the only thing I talk about. Within only one facet of my identity, I often identify as many different things at once. And a lot of people feel like that's contradictory and something that I can't do, but I beg to differ. I think the unique combination, the fact that I can identify with all of these terms and flow between them, and the fact that maybe you can't, is what makes us different. And in turn, helps create my identity. For example, let's jump into sexuality. I identify as bisexual, pansexual, and sometimes just Ashley. And sometimes I identify as all of these things at the same time. Now, I'm aware that these identities are nuanced in such a way that makes them different from each other. Frequently accepted definitions on the screen if you'd like to check them out. But this does not change the fact that I identify with them all. And this is because, to quote Sexplanations, we arrive at identities in different ways for different reasons. After describing my sexuality for the first time to a few people at a young age, they gave me the label bisexual. And a lot about that label I came to identify with. For example, the pride, the community, the support they offered, the idea that sexuality didn't have to exist on any end of the spectrum. I formed a real connection with that identity. In many ways, it felt like me. Later, on my own, I stumbled across the qualifier pansexual, and I found that it really captured a lot of the nuances of my reality, so I began to identify as pan. But, this is key, I didn't feel like any less of a bisexual. Even though I found a new identity that I liked, my connection to my older identity was not lost. Now, to completely throw you for a loop, sometimes I don't identify with any label. Some days bi and pan both feel too contrived for me, and I just want to be Ashley. Other days I feel completely the opposite, and I find power in having that word for my identity. Identity is so complex, personal, constantly changing, fluid, and it's very possible to have a connection to several very different identities all at the same time. Other ways I identify: cisgender woman, not traditionally girly, androgynous-ish, sometimes on this end of the Kinsey scale, sometimes on this end of the Kinsey scale, sometimes bopping around in the middle. Sister, daughter, girlfriend, lover of learning, creator, hard worker, performer, friend, Buffy fanatic, cuddler, introvert, and a perfectionist. But I'm not sure if I like that, so I'm working on deciding whether or not I like that. Now, sometimes identifying in a lot of different ways within one facet of myself, such as sexuality, gender, race, anything, can be really hard for people to understand. To quote Catherine Lamble from Huffington Post Gay Voices, this is because it defies their idea of the world. They need to know one way or the other. What are you? I need to know where I can fit you in my taxonomy of life. But the truth is, you are quite different from the person you live next door to, even if you're both straight. And you're different from the person you sit next to at work every day, even if you're both gay. And this can apply to any identity. Your identity is unique to you and most likely too complex to fit into one breath. So the next time somebody asks, "What are you?" feel free to offer up as many different identities as you want. Okay, bye! I tag Neil McNeil, David Levitz, and Blake Reiner. Super bye! Almost forgot to tag people. Follow me on Twitter.
I've been asked on behalf of Ashley to have you subscribe and like. Pretty please for me, like for me, please like for me. Pretty please for me, I'll give you fake money.